Hey again, guys. It's time for the funk. Friday night funk. Because on Fridays, you know what I like to do? I like to look at some baseball cards. Got my Brooklyn Dodgers throwback hat here. This is from the late 30s. I believe this is a 1937. And a lot of you probably don't know that before there was Dodger blue, there was Dodger green. Because most of the cards in the 30s were black and white. You wouldn't be able to tell. So I have a few things I want to show you, a few recent pickups. First, we'll start off with Dante Glue Fingers Lavelli. Really good receiver for the Browns on those great championship teams. Man, this is back when there were still Italians in pro football. You know, we don't have too many. We had Mark Bavaro. And then I had Flacco, right? Joe Flacco. But man, I can't root for him. You know, I'm a Steeler fan. And I was a Pitt fan. And he left Pitt early because he wasn't starting. So most of us started disliking him right then. But then he went to the Ravens. And I had to watch them play against the Steelers twice a year. And of course, Mike Tomlin has an abysmal record against the Ravens. We used to dominate them. But even when they have terrible teams, we lose now. Anyway, enough of that. I have a 1955 Don Hoke. It's a really nice card. This one's really sharp. And this guy doesn't get probably enough hobby love or even enough love in the NFL, football history. But Jim Otto, he was a absolute beast. One of the greatest centers to ever play. And these tall boys are fantastic. I don't have a whole lot of them, but I'm always happy to add some. And a good basketball player here, Wes Unseld. And, you know, they used to have these card shows back in the 70s, and they would produce cards for the shows, I guess. And this one was from a Philadelphia card show in 1976. And they made this Babe Ruth card. It was in the 48 Bowman series, yeah. But it's a pretty cool card of him. It's a unique image. And I will collect old pamphlets and cards that come from the old shows back in the 70s, if I can find them. And I got the first issue of the Steelers Police set from 1981. Some of these I already had, but I wanted the complete original, that first set. They had John Banaszak, good defensive lineman. Franco Harris. These police sets are so inexpensive. If you want to get some of these from the early 80s, Larry Brown, he came up as a tight end and they converted him. And man, he was a great offensive lineman. You'll see his rookie card, he's listed as a tight end. And Mike Webster, one of the great centers of all time. And the Roonies call him the greatest Steeler of all time, Joe Green. Steelers have only retired 2 numbers. Joe Green's was more recently. Before that, Ernie Stautner was the only other number ever retired by the Steelers. John Stallworth. Terry Bradshaw. Most underrated quarterback in history. 4 Super Bowls, and it's a little known fact that he threw a touchdown pass to win every one of those Super Bowls. Mel Blount. I mean, if you had to retire Steeler numbers, there wouldn't be too many numbers left. L.C. Greenwood. A travesty he's not in the Hall of Fame. Lynn Swann, my favorite player growing up. Man, there wasn't a better receiver in history once he left his feet. That guy was amazing. Matt Barr. His brother Chris Barr. They both played at Penn State, and Chris played for the Bengals. Jack Lambert. Jack Ham. Jack Lambert said he was the best outside linebacker he ever saw. Donnie Shell, he finally got into the Hall of Fame. When he retired, he had the most receptions in NFL history by a safety. Sam Davis, another good lineman. And Steve Furness. Steve Furness filled in that fourth slot on the Steel Curtain defensive line when Ernie Fats Holmes left. He was a good lineman too, overshadowed by LC and Joe Green and Dwight White, but a good lineman. And then, you know me, I like the nunchucks. I'm a huge Bruce Lee fan. I found this old, man, this is from like, I think 1974. An old figure of him. I had to get it. You know what that makes me want to do? Thanks for watching.